Facebook absolutely implodes, suffering the worst drop in value in the history of the stock market. In this video, we're going to take a look at the nightmare sell-off for Facebook. We're going to see how media outlets all over are saying this is but the beginning of the end of the tech giant. And stick with me to the very end of this video when I'll reveal how Facebook is yet the latest example, the age-old adage, get woke and go broke. You're not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone. Patriots all across the globe. Dr. Steve here with you. Great to be with you as always. I'm your newly designated Patriot professor, providing hopeful analysis to help you to think better so you can feel better in these crazy and turbulent times. If you've already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. And gang, today is it. We got our big announcement. You can tell from my shirt here. Are you ready to hear our plan for patriots across the country to take down rhinos? Well, here we go. As many of you know, I've officially renamed February Rhino Hunting Month, and I'm on the hunt. Your feedback this week has been so helpful, and I am so excited to share this game plan with you. Now, stop a minute. Remember that feeling of heartbreak you felt when John McCain stopped the repeal of Obamacare, or when Mike Pence so passively accepted the contested electoral votes? Remember when someone you voted for and trusted in deceived you? They claimed to be your champion, but then constantly voted to uphold the status quo. I am so excited to officially announce our brand new website, reportarhino.com, the only official place where patriots all across the country can report and expose any and all rhinos. My team is compiling a list of your reports for every state and race across the USA, so we all know exactly who we need to primary for the midterm races, which start as early as May. I've also included on the site a 3-step plan for how we can begin to get rid of rhinos from office and further expose them in the upcoming races. You're going to absolutely love it. So don't wait. Go right now to reportarhino.com. Just click on the link below. Report any rhinos you know of from the local to federal level so we can begin taking action against them. Again, that's reportarhino.com. Make sure to share that website with your friends far and wide, and let's together make this the most amazing midterm elections ever. All right, gang, let's dive right in here. Boy, has this been a great week or what? First, it was CNN collapsing right before our very eyes with the resignation of Zucker. Now it's Zuckerberg. Facebook is officially imploding. Think about how long we've been waiting for this day. Well, it's here. Look at this headline from CNBC. Facebook's $232 billion fall sets record for largest one-day value drop in stock market history. Now, if you don't know, Facebook lost nearly $250 billion in market value the other day, which represents 20% of their market value of their entire company. And just to put this all in perspective, Facebook lost more money yesterday than the size of the entire Greek economy. It was the single biggest one-day drop in value in the history of the U.S. stock market. I want to say that again because it's just so choice, in the words of Ferris Bueller. What happened to Facebook yesterday was the single biggest one-day drop in value in the history of the stock market. Again, it bears repeating. We're not just talking Facebook's worst day ever on the stock market. Facebook's worst day ever was actually the worst day ever for the U.S. stock market in terms of market devaluation. It was a colossal collapse. For the first time ever, Facebook reported that they were indeed losing users in droves. People are just walking away from this increasingly woke platform. The more woke Facebook gets, the more they hemorrhage users who are going to other platforms, like Rumble, for example, right? Rumble, by contrast, is growing by leaps and bounds. They've gone public recently. Their user growth is through the roof. Really amazing stuff. Here's to old tech. Needless to say, it's being reported that CEO Mark Zuckerberg was on the verge of tears at a corporate meeting discussing the crash, which is being blamed largely on an extremely weak revenue forecast as the company faces steep competition from the likes of alternative platforms like TikTok. The sell-off was so bad that Zuckerberg was, as of yesterday, kicked off Forbes' top 10 list of billionaires. He lost so much money in a single day, he's fallen off the list of the top 10 billionaires. I mean, it's incredible. Look at this from the Washington Post. This is how bad yesterday was. Look at this headline. Facebook's dream of connecting the whole world is dead. The platform's first ever decline in active users is a landmark event in social media history. How is that for a devastating headline? Again, we always knew this was going to happen, right? We've talked about this for years, but it's finally here. I mean, the day has arrived. Media outlet after media outlet is recognizing that Zuckerberg's empire is imploding. At least it's failing to a point that demurs markedly from what Zuckerberg was hoping to achieve. And by the way, if you really want to have some fun celebrating the implosion of the woke world, make sure to check out our awesome merch store where you can get the best shirts and jackets and gear that celebrate the collapse of all things woke. And don't forget to get our brand new Rhino hunting collection. They're awesome. Remember, you're going to be supporting this channel as well as spreading Patriot hope far and wide. What could be better? So make sure to check out that amazing merch store at store.turleytalks.com. That's store.turleytalks.com. Now, what's so fascinating in terms of what happened yesterday is that this really has been a long time coming. A number of articles from like the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, they've been detailing of late the myriad of ways in which this tech giant is turning out to be not so gigantic after all. And it's far weaker and far more brittle than anyone could have imagined. So, for example, you might recall the whole controversy surrounding that so-called whistleblower who testified before Congress a few months back, right? It was back in mid-September when a number of internal Facebook documents were anonymously leaked to the Wall Street Journal that detailed and described controversial practices that Facebook executives were knowingly engaged in, such as disregarding their own research into the harm of Instagram, which Facebook owns, the harms of Instagram for young girls, and the false sense of self-image that Instagram promotes to them. Well, in a further investigation, the New York Times concluded that the major reason why Facebook is so prone to prey on young girls' body image and ignore their own research is not because they're indifferent. It's not because they're so big and powerful that they don't care. No, it's because they're that desperate. It's because Facebook is in trouble. This is from the piece, quote, not financial trouble or legal trouble or even senators yelling at Mark Zuckerberg trouble. What I'm talking about is a kind of slow, steady decline that anyone who has ever seen a dying company up close can recognize. It's a cloud of existential dread that hangs over an organization whose best days are behind it, influencing every managerial priority and product decision and leading to increasingly desperate attempts to find a way out. This kind of decline is not necessarily visible from the outside, but insiders see 100 small, disquieting signs of it every day. User hostile, growth hacks, frenetic pivots, executive paranoia, the gradual attrition of talented colleagues. And after talking about comparisons with Godzilla in terms of how big and powerful Facebook supposedly was, this piece goes on to note, quote, if these leaked documents proved anything, it is how un-Godzilla-like Facebook feels. Internally, the company worries that it's losing power and influence and not gaining it. And its own research shows that many of its products aren't thriving organically. Instead, it is going to increasingly extreme lengths to improve its toxic image and to stop users from abandoning its apps in favor of more compelling alternatives. Now, the fact that the Times is running a piece like this is further evidence just how much the left is eating itself at this point. Leftists are trying to bring down other leftists at Facebook, both internally and externally. And I wonder if this is just an inherent part of the left, and that modern leftism is so hell-bent on destroying or tearing down, on eliminating any hint of supposed injustices and the like, that it inevitably begins tearing down itself. In other words, when all a movement does is destroy, eventually it ends up destroying itself. And perhaps that's what's happening at Facebook. But now with this massive sell-off, representing the biggest loss in market value in the history of the U.S. stock market, Facebook does appear to be cracking right before our very eyes. When even the most ardent leftist publications are noticing such, it may be that their demise is closer than we could have ever thought. Now, before you go, you will definitely want to check out my latest video I just uploaded on Kamala Harris literally crumbling in her most disastrous interview ever. You're going to absolutely love it. So make sure to click on the link and I'll see you over there. God bless.